So, hello and welcome to the webinar for the Open Specimen catalogs. I'll be your host for today. I am Neha Nimgire, the project manager at Open Specimen. And let's get started with the demo. In the call, we will be muting everyone, so please be on mute. And the questions for the webinar will be taken at the end of the call. Okay, so that uh, we can, we can have a Q&A session at the end. So to begin with the webinar, okay. So the agenda for today's webinar will be I'll introduce you what specimen catalogs are, why are they needed, how will you create catalogs in OpenSpecimen? If there are requests from the researchers, how will you handle those in OpenSpecimen? And how will these requests be processed so that you can send these samples to the researchers? We'll dive into one topic at a time. So why is a specimen catalog needed? Okay, to improve your specimen utilization and to share your data with the researchers, specimen catalogs plays a big role here. Then specimen catalog enables you to share your data with the research community, and there are different levels to which this data can be shared. We'll see that in detail. So also, what are the benefits of using the catalog? It helps you maximize the utilization of your specimens. It's easy to use. The admins can configure the catalog based on their requirement, based on what fields they want to expose to the researchers, and also give access to the users according to their requirements. Okay. You can create multiple catalogs based on your requirements. So it can be based on your protocols. It can be disease specific catalog. You can create specimen type related catalog as well. So let's say I am a biobank and I want to expose all the plasma samples that I have collected to the researchers. So I can create one specific catalog named as plasma specimen catalog, and I can expose this to the researchers. So what are the features of the catalogs we are going to look into? Let's go into type of catalogs first. So there are two types of catalogs. So public versus private. Okay. So currently I am logged in using a super admin account. I'll give you a little bit of overview. Then I'll show you how a request manager and a researcher works in OpenSpecimen. Okay. So I'm on the home page. I can navigate to the catalogs here. Okay. So we have designed a few catalogs for demo. In today's demo, I'll be using the specimen catalog. Okay. So if I have to say that I want to expose my catalog to everyone, okay, then there is this option over here that says requires login, which means if anyone tries to access this catalog and I have said that the login required is no, then any user can have a look at the catalog. If I toggle this to yes, it will ask you to log in first. Okay, so this is how you can create a public versus a private catalog. So the complete control is on this particular option. Okay, so even if I now try to access this URL, okay, I'll just open an incognito window and view catalog. Okay, it will show me the data. Okay, so it is giving me a count as well as all the data. Okay, if I change this back to yes, then it will not, it will ask me to log in first. Okay, and when I do this, it also asks me which particular group of users you want to give access to. Okay, not individual users, but you can give access to user groups from here. Okay, so you can select users, uh, user group from here, and So it can be multiple user groups whom you want to give access. Once you do that, the URL will ask you to log in first. Okay, let's not change anything in this current setup. So that was for public versus private. Then we have two types of catalogs as specimen catalog versus count based catalogs. Okay, so here when we saw this catalog, these are individual records. Okay, so this is one specimen. Okay, so I can see from here this is one specimen. It belongs to, you know, a male participant, the race and all those details. So this is one specimen that I am viewing. Okay, let's say I don't want to give so many details to the users. Okay, I just want to say that I have 100 specimens of this particular type and belonging to this particular, you know, range of, let's say they are female, they are male, or the vital status is alive. Okay, so in that case we can create a count based catalog. Okay, which is this. So let me open that URL as well. So just take a note, I am copying the catalog URL from here, which is the URL that you can share with your users, and not this. So these two URLs are completely different, which is why I am using the URL that can be shared with the user. Okay, so let me open this. So the one that we saw before was a specimen catalog, which shows individual records, whereas the one that you're seeing here is a count based catalog. Okay, so if you see here, the counts are mentioned. So there are 46 specimens belonging to a female patient who's alive. These are serum samples, anatomic site. These samples are malignant, and biohazard is hepatitis A. Okay, so that's the difference between a specimen catalog and a count based catalog. Okay, moving on to the next slide. So catalog privileges. So which user can, you know, access a catalog, or, you know, view a catalog or create a catalog? In roles, you'll find a resource. Let me go to roles. Okay, and I'll just open 2, 3 roles here. Let's just create one here. So under resource, whichever user has, whichever role has been assigned catalog access, read will be able to view the catalogs, create and update will be able to make changes to the catalog, delete can delete the catalog. So complete access of the catalogs is controlled by this privilege over here. Okay, and on top of this, we have other roles called as super administrator, institute administrator. These users can, these users have access to the catalog module by default. Okay, so those are the catalog privileges. Okay, then coming to the catalog configuration, how would you create a catalog and what are the things needed to create a catalog? Okay, so when you create a catalog, you need a query to show the specimens to the researcher. Okay, and you need a request form. Okay, if you have to take request from the researchers, you can build a form in OpenSpecimen and link it to that catalog. Okay, so let me take you to the catalog again and I'll show you the, okay. And this is the new feature that we have called the favorite URLs, and these are the things that I've configured for the demo, so it's easier for navigation. Okay, so coming to this catalog, we have two, you know, one title and one description. You can add a detailed description of what this catalog is or does. Then under display, there are different options using which you can show what details you want to show to the researcher. Okay, if you want to show the dashboard, catalog, and a request form, everything, you can select these checkboxes over here. If you don't want to show a dashboard, you can just uncheck this. Okay, I have created a few examples for this. I'll come to that in a bit. I'll just finish these fields over here, and then we can see those setups. Okay, so this is what controls what is being showed in your catalog. Okay, the next part is search query. So what is a search query? So this query is used to show the data in your catalog. Okay, all the fields that you're seeing there, all the filters, all that stuff can be done in the search query. Okay, let me open that query for you so that the yeah, so this is the query. So there are different filters that we have added. So that's on gender, vital status, ethnicity, some on the visit level, which is for clinical status, diagnosis, and some filters at the specimen level. So let me click on view records. Okay. So these are all the parameterized filters that I have created, and they are visible on the left side. So the same filters will also be visible when you are actually viewing the catalog. Okay. Let me go to, so this is another account that I'll be using. That's a researcher account who is granted a researcher role and will be requesting for specimens. Okay, so he has access to catalogs. Okay, let me directly go to the catalog. Okay, yeah. Yeah. So if you see, whatever filters are present here are there in the query as well. Okay, here. Okay, so these are the filters. Then if you see here, the number of fields that are configured is more. Okay, and I don't want to create clutter on the catalog. I can limit those fields to, a subset of the fields that are there in that query. So what can I do is, in this search result column, I can select what fields I want to display. Okay, and they are coming from the catalog query. So if I remove clinical status from here and save, okay, going to the another tab. So I'm using Safari and Chrome. In Chrome, I am logged in as a super administrator, whereas here I am logged in as a researcher. Okay, so whatever configurations you do there and save, they'll be reflected here automatically. So if you see after pathological status, there is no clinical status that I had added. Okay, so this result view columns controls the fields that are shown on your catalog by default. Okay, then next is item details query. So this query is used to display the results to a request manager. Okay, so these both queries can be different. So the details that you want to show to a researcher versus the request manager can be different. Okay, and in this you need to make sure that you have included an identifier. Okay, the specimen identifier, in order for that catalog to work and identify the specimens to be distributed. Then we have the request form. Okay, as I said before, you can create a form and you can add the fields that for which you need details from the researchers, like which institute they belong to, or which protocol for, or for what details are needed. Give me a minute. Other details like shipping address, contact number, if there are any additional details like request details, if they have to add any, you can design a form, and once that form is ready, you can attach it to the specimen catalog. So all you need to do is just from the drop down, you can select the form. So the form list will be visible here. From that, you can select. Next is the request managers. So these people are responsible for handling the request. whatever requests for this catalog come in, the request managers are sent an email that this new request has been added for this catalog. Okay, uh, and let me show you this. So let me just refresh. Yeah. So on this particular catalog, currently it is showing me all the values without adding any filters. Okay, let's say I want to change that. If I have a lot of data to be shown and I don't want to, load that at once. I want to show it only when the filters are selected. I can set up those using this field over here. Okay, we have already seen requires login for private versus public catalog. The other is show app button. So if you see here, there are some buttons visible. Okay, I am logged in. So if I log out, there will be hold on here. Let me log out from here and I'll show you that catalog. Yeah. So if you see here, if I am accessing the URLs, the other buttons like sign up, sign in, they are gone. Okay, so in order to reduce more clutter and not want the users to try and do anything else, just focus on the catalog, these buttons can also be hidden. Okay, that is what is controlled by the show app buttons. You can configure your own URL, so that can be an SOP how to request for specimens, or you can point it to the user manual of OpenSpecimen as to how to deal with catalogs. Okay, so that's a help URL that can be configured. Okay, so this is for the catalog. So we have seen how to how to link a query to show specimens. We've also seen how to link a request form to the catalog. Okay, moving on to the next details. So configure live filter. So the parameterized filters, whatever you create in the query, they are visible here. Okay, so these are what are called as live filters. So you can change and find data what you need on the go. Then you can also configure fields to share the data. As we saw, you can change the view that is there over here. Okay, plus there is another option to change the columns from here as well. Let's say I want to see what's the ethnicity of the patient, what is the clinical status. You can change those columns as per your needs, and the result will be updated based on the columns that you select. We have talked about request managers. These are the users who will be handling the request. We have also created a role for it. So whenever you create a catalog, okay, each catalog that you create gets a unique URL. So if you go to any catalog over here, okay, even if I open this, oops, sorry, view catalog. Let me use one of mine. Yeah. So if you see here, the ID keeps on changing. These are different catalogs that are configured. So if you see here, the URL for each catalog is unique. And the one that you need to share is this URL. So you can create different catalogs for different research groups based on the data that you wish to expose. Okay. Then to show you the different catalog levels, let me go to the CP. Okay, you can create a CP specific catalog as well, or you can have a private catalog with login. So when I say CP specific catalog, what I need to do is I need to go to the collection protocol. In the settings, I need to find catalog. Okay, and here you can attach a catalog to the CP. Okay, so all the catalogs that are currently set up in the system will be visible in this list. You can link it, and once you link a catalog, that catalog will be visible on the list view as well. So there will be a button here to view the catalog. Okay. If you see here for the other ones, you are just able to see the view CP details and dashboard. Whereas for this one, there's a view catalog. So if we click on that, it will first take me to the dashboard, which is specific to the CP. And if you click on view catalog, it will take you to the CP specific catalog. So there are just 62 items and you can filter out based on so there's no gender and other details added, but there are some specimens that are collected. So this is a CP specific catalog. Okay. And private catalog with login, as I said before, this is similar to public versus private catalog. So you just need to enable requires login and it will force the user to log in to access the catalog. Okay. Now moving on to the managing request from researchers part. So I'll show you for both, that is the count based as well as for the specimen catalog, so that you will understand the difference between those two. So let me just sign out from here and I'll close the other tabs to reduce the confusion. This is incognito. Yeah. Oh, 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 oh. Just 1 minute. Rohan, can you log in and quickly change this setting? It seems that I have logged myself out and there's no sign in button. Till then, I'll show you the researcher view. Okay, so I am logged in as a researcher now, and what I can do is under catalogs, I can create my request. So let's go to this particular specimen catalog. Okay, I'll click on view catalog. Yeah. So this is a list view versus card view. Okay, I'm toggling to the list view now. And yeah, I want to see female patient data, vital status alive. So I'll filter out some specimens that, as you see, the moment I keep on I change or add new filters, the count is also reflected based on that. Okay. If I have to see more details, I'll click on the eye icon. Okay. If not, I can just, choose these specimens and add to cart. Okay. And I'll go to cart. Here you can see whatever criteria I have selected now. For example, in the gender, I said that I want to see only female patients. For vital status, I said alive. So the criteria that you selected is populated over here, and the specimens that you selected have been shown over here. Okay, you can either go back to the search if you want to add more specimens using this back to search button. If you're not happy with your current fields, current specimens, you can either remove them one by one or use clear card. If you're happy with your request, you can click on submit request. Okay. Since I am logged in currently by the researcher account, okay, it is asking me to fill some details that is for the request form that is designed. Okay, and I'll quickly add some details over here. Okay, some description, the grant number, shipping address, name. Okay. Okay, and I'll submit the request. Okay, as soon as you submit a request, it has shown that a request has been created. Okay, an email is triggered to the users who are the request managers of that particular catalog. And once they receive the email, in that email, there is an attachment that has the details of the specimens that have been requested. Okay, let me go back and see if I am able to log in now. Rohan, Ashish, is this changed? I want to log into the application. I'm not able to
No,
see.
unfortunately, even we are unable to log in. It seems some issue on that.
Uh, Hold on. That's going to be difficult now. Can you get help from Nilesh?
Can you try with the test environment? There will be multiple catalogs there.
I have my data set up over here.
Oh, okay. Just give me a couple of.
Yeah. Seems like I've accidentally logged myself out only with the researcher account enabled. Um, till then, till we are able to, get back into the system, I'll show you some other configurations that are done. Okay, so you can configure different options for the display. That is, you can create, you can have a just a catalog with no dashboard. Okay, so if you hold on, let me go back and catalogs list page and telethon kits. Okay, this is not going to take me to the overview page. Okay. Yeah, so this is a good example of a catalog wherein what I have configured is I've configured a dashboard that is specific to the COVID patients. I have a catalog again pointing to the COVID patients, and I have a request form. So the data is populated over here. When I click on view catalog, it will take me to the catalog for the COVID study. Okay, and as I mentioned, I have disabled the review cart option, which is why you're not able to see a cart option over here. So if I start selecting my some filters, okay, I can see the data. Okay, COVID-19. So now I can view the data and I can see what all options are there from the let's see the criterias that I want. Okay, let's say I want to now have COVID-19 infected people, female gender, okay, and people who have traveled to Mumbai. Okay, I see there are multiple specimens over here. Okay, and what I can do is now I'm not interested in sending out requests. I just want to say that send me 10 samples for this particular project, and these are my requirements. So I'll just add the details. Okay. Okay. Um, Specimen details. Now I'll say I want 5 specimens of COVID infected female patients who have traveled to Mumbai. Okay. So you can add such details for the specimens and send out request. If you don't want the researchers to, sit and collect, select the specimens and then send out request to you. Okay, and you can even ask for a signature and submit request.
Hello, Neha.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have enabled the button. You would be able to log in.
Okay.
Please.
Okay. Yeah, just a minute, refreshing. Okay. Accidents happen, so sorry for that. Okay. Um, so I am logged in now as a request manager. Okay, and I'll show you the requests and how to process them. After that, we'll look into the other things. Okay, so if you remember the first request that we sent out for the specimen catalog, it was for some serum samples. Okay, uh, once a request is added, the default state goes into is pending. Okay, I as a request manager have an option to either approve or reject this request based on the details that are there in the request. Okay, let's say I'll approve the request. Okay, if I have to notify any users, I can notify the users. If I have to add any approval comments, there's an option to do that. Okay, for now, I'll just approve the request. Okay, then in the specimens now you can see the current status of this is pending. So no specimens have been sent out yet. Okay, a quick and easy way to send these samples is I'll click on distribute all. This will directly take me to the create order page. It will link it to the request ID that is currently we have used. And I'll select a distribution protocol. By default, all the other fields will be populated. If you have to add any sender comments, you can do this. Else, you can just click on distribute. Okay. So now what we did is the researcher added the specimens to the cart, submitted a request. A request manager logged in, approved the request, and a technician distributes the specimens to the researcher. Okay, so for now I just did these two in one go. Okay, but if there are multiple users involved, you can assign those tasks to them as well. Okay, when a request is added, an email is sent out like this, that you have a new request for this particular catalog has been added, and you get an email attachment with this email with the details of the specimens added. Okay, as a request manager, the things that you can see over here is you get to see the catalog overview. Okay, what things are there in the catalog. You can view the request. You can manage the request that are sent out for these catalogs. You can either approve them, reject them. If there are any details that you want to edit, even that can be done. So if you click on edit, if there are any details missing, let's say someone called you up and said that, okay, my details are missing. These are the details for the request. You can add those details as well. Okay, so that will get updated. Okay, and it is also possible to add or remove the specimens from the request. So if you select this, okay, not here. Yeah, it is possible to do that. I'll show that in the count based catalog how you can do it. Okay, now let me go to the count based catalog. So I'll go back, count based. Okay, now let's say I'll select this. I'm logged in as a a researcher user. I'll click add to cart, navigate to cart. If there are any additional comments that you need to add, like send 5 specimens for this, and let's say 5 of this. Okay, so there are 19 and 46 samples. You can submit the request. You can also make some fields mandatory in this. And if some details are required, or you can even keep that optional in the. So for now, just to quickly go through this, I'll just add this and submit request. Okay, so that is 890. I'll go back here, go to the count based catalog, view request. So this is the request that got created. Okay, so now if you remember, for the other catalog, the specimen catalog, there were only two tabs that were visible. One was specimens and the other was the overview of the request. But here, if you see, there is a cart option. Okay, the reason being, this is a count based catalogs and you can decide what specimens you want to share. Okay, so whatever comments were added during that request have also been recorded. Now from here you can click on this eye icon. It will show you the list of all the specimens that were there. So there are around 19 specimens. Okay, so 19 specimens will be visible over here. You can select which specimens you want to send. Okay, let's say they've requested for 5 and I want to send for 5 and I want to send 5 aliquots. So from here I'll click on add. Okay, selecting a distribution protocol is mandatory so that the system knows you're going to send it to this particular DP using this particular DP. And from here I'll add more 5. Okay, not necessary that you want to add 5, but since they said the researcher has mentioned that they need 5 you can do that. You can add more samples from here as well using the scan option. Okay, and approve. So if you see here, I cannot distribute the samples unless the request has been approved. So I'll click on approve. So once that is done, the specimens are now visible here and I have a distribute all option. Okay. Okay, not going into much details about distribution. So I'll just distribute the samples and all the samples that were there have now been distributed and the status is updated to distributed and closed. Okay. Any questions still here? Okay. I'll show you the other catalogs that I said that you can change the configuration based on what you have selected. Okay. So this is a catalog wherein I don't have any catalog enabled or a cart enabled. Okay. I just have a dashboard and I have a request form. In that case, what will happen is, okay, let me just, sorry. Okay, so this is the dashboard. And if you see here, now there is no view catalog option because I've disabled it. I see a submit request. So this will directly take me to the request button. Okay, you can design a catalog, a dashboard specific to the CP. You can add it over here. And in this form, you can ask the researchers to send out request. As I said, this is completely based on your needs and configurations, how you want to do it. Okay, so that was dashboard and request form. And as I said, for some catalogs, you don't want a dashboard visible. You just want the catalog shown. So if I click on that catalog, hold on, let me show it in a researcher view. Okay, so it has directly taken me to the catalog. And if you see here, the cart button is enabled uh, because of the review cart option. Okay, and a form will also be visible once I add the specimens to the cart and move forward. Okay, so you select add to cart, submit request, a form is visible. Okay, so that was no dashboard. And yeah, we saw COVID specimens. Okay, Just 1 minute. So there was one request that we had submitted for the COVID catalog. Yeah. So if you remember this catalog, we had designed a catalog. We have a dashboard ready. We have a catalog, and I didn't want the users to select any specimens and just request for the specimens. In that case, what you will do is, let me go back to the COVID catalog. Okay. I have a request that has come up. Okay, so this is this. Since we did not have any specimens added to the cart and sent out, this is blank. Okay, now I have the option to check the details what are added for that particular request and add those specimens. Okay, so the user wants 5 specimens of COVID infected female patients. What I can do is, from here I can select some samples, I can copy those labels, and I can send it to the user. Okay, so I'll just pick 1 or 2 samples as of now for demo purpose. Say approve. Hold on. Add specimens. I'll add. Okay, and approve. And from here I can distribute. Okay, and again, not going into much details about this. Okay, so those were all the things I wanted to cover in the catalog setup. We have not gone into details about dashboard since this session was dedicated to catalogs. And when you go to help.openspecimen.org, and if you search for catalogs, you'll get all the details for the catalog module. Okay, how to set up catalog, how to set up specimen count based catalogs, and all those details. How to research, how to send out a request, how to accept a request, how to process specimens. All those details are available on the user manuals.